Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jason and you're watching Jason Jensen Trains. Well, I have two brand new N-scale kits that are available on my website at jasonjensentrains.com. And in today's video, I'm going to go over how to put those two kits together. Now, before we get started, I want to mention that Patreon members, paid Patreon members, get a discount on the kits. And you can find the discount code on my Patreon page at patreon.com/Jason Jensen Trains. All right, well, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. So as I mentioned, I have two brand new N-scale kits out. Now, I don't have instructional videos for these because I actually built these a couple months back, and a lot of things happened in my personal life and I just didn't have time to make instructional videos for these. But I'm going to go over in detail how to put these together. We'll start with Full Moon Tavern. Now, I have this in HO scale, and I have a full video on how to build it in HO. So you can watch that video because it's basically the same thing. So here are the parts. And here is the instructions that you receive with it. Now, you'll notice I've included two sets of the front and the sign, just in case you have an accident or mess it up. Or if you don't, you can actually cut this out and create a billboard somewhere else on your layout. And then here you'll see there's a diagram that tells you exactly where the walls go, the windows, the doors, how to assemble the base, and all of these numbers coordinate with the numbers on the parts. So here are the walls, and I actually, on this model, I sprayed both sides of this with a gray primer and then actually brushed on the blue before I actually cut the walls out of the sheet. It seems to work pretty well doing it that way. So once you have these done, cut them out, and then cut out this front wall and cut this out and glue it on there. Then we're going to put windows and doors in everything while it's still flat. And I recommend flipping everything over and putting your doors and windows in from the back side and pressing them down so that they're flush with the front, and then glue them from the back, and then just simply cut some acetate and put in for your windows. Then you can flip over the walls and glue on the window frames. All the windows get window frames, and the door. Let's see, the sign is pretty simple. Here's all the parts. There's 3 angled supports, and then this gets glued on the front where the sign gets glued, and this gets glued on the back to sort of hold it all together. Now on mine, I cut this red arrow off and then just painted the arrow red on here. So it's a pretty simple build. The base, the large rectangle fits under the main part. Then you cut out the smaller pieces. So the L shape is right here. Then you have a rectangle that goes right here. And then a small piece, which is the step up to the front door. Like I said, it may help to watch the video on the HO scale version, and I'll put a link for that video at the end of this one. Okay, let's move on to Tim's Woodworks. I'll show this to you quick. Now, actually, this started as an HO scale model called Williams Propane. And so Williams Propane is basically this structure right here. So this part and the part in the middle, this was not here. So I simply made it bigger by adding another structure over here, and it's slightly smaller, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. So again, it may help to watch that video. Again, it's Williams Propane Sales in HO scale, and I'll put a link to that video at the end of this one. Okay, so here are all the parts. The base, you'll cut out the main base and then cut out the center of it and glue that. You'll flip it around and glue it onto the front. And I'll show you. Very simple. So here you have where all of your doors and windows go. And again, the numbers coordinate with the numbers on the parts on here. So here are your walls. In the instructions, I have 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A. Those 4 walls make up this side of the structure. Then this one in the center is 1B, 2B, 3B, and 4B. So you have a wood wall in the front and a wood wall in the back. But in between there, you have these. So you glue those on each end. And I show that here. So you can see the front wall and the back wall overlap. These two are on the inside, and the wood walls are on the outside. They cover the edge of it. Then this structure here is 1C, 2C, 3C, and 4C. Those 4 walls make up this one. These 2 sides are different. This one's bigger, this one's smaller. So this one is made up of 4A walls. This one is made up of 4B walls. This one is made up of 4C walls. So that's pretty simple. And again, don't glue anything together until you have all of your windows in and everything is stained and painted. So again, I sprayed a primer on this on both sides. I then took red paint and brushed it on, and it's almost a dry brush effect to make it look like the paint is peeling. Now you could stain this, lightly stain it. Again, I would probably stain both sides. I find with the N scale, you don't really need to brace it, but you can. I'll provide some wood if you'd like to brace the walls. What I do to make it simple is I put the bracing in the corners so that it's easier to glue together. It's not quite as flimsy when you have that support in the corners. So again, spray a primer over your walls, paint them red. Then I sprayed this with a white. I actually used a white primer. Then, after you cut out all your little windows and doors, you can flip this over and then start to glue in all of the windows where they go. And you'll have to cut some little acetate for the glass in the windows. And again, your window guide is right here. It's all in gray and it's letters. So there's a window in the back, and that's a letter L. And you'll see on here, the letter L, there's 3 windows that size. Now, there may be some extra windows. Don't be concerned. Like with the L, I provided 3, but I think this kit only takes 2. So you could have a window leaning up against the back or the side with broken glass, or no glass in it at all, and make it look like it's been replaced. Okay, where were we? Glue in all of your doors and windows from the back side so that everything is flush in the front. I like that look, and I'll show you the difference. I did not do that. I laid mine flat like this, where you see the front of the walls. Then I put my windows in so that the back was flush. And I'll show you, it makes them set back in there a ways compared to this model where it's flush with the front. Same with the door and the windows in the front. These are all flush because I glued them in from the back side. And I think from now on I'll probably do it that way. So it's really a personal preference. You'll see these doors aren't flush with the front, they're flush with the back of the wall, so they're inset. Okay, so you get all of your windows glued in, the acetate cut and glued in place. Then, before we glue them together, you also have to add corner trim to some of the pieces. And the corner trim is marked with green in the corners. The center structure does not get the corner trim added to it. Just the 2 big ones and this one on the end. Then after that's done, you can start to assemble your walls and just simply use the guide provided. The sign is pretty simple. It's made up of 2 pieces. So the saw blade in the back, you'll paint that white, and then the lettering, that one, you can paint a different color. I chose red for mine, but you can see here. Then there's a simple detail. The kit comes with a water tower or a water tank for the roof. And the base that it sits on, I don't know if you can see that. The base is right here, that long sliver, that long thin piece right there. That gets folded, and then you'll put a top on it, which is this piece right here that has engraved boards on it. So you'll glue this piece onto the rooftop, and then glue the square on top of that. Then take your water tank and put that on there. And everything that you see is in the kit. Smokestacks, vents, all of this stuff in the front, it all comes in the kit. This side over here, I put a rack for wood. And it's basically 3 pieces that you'll glue to the side of the building. Hopefully you can see those. So those 3 pieces get glued on the side. The spacing is really up to you. And then these triangle pieces, you have 4 triangle pieces. Those are for the sign support for the roof. For the boards on here, just cut strips out of this material here. Paint them different wood colors and glue them in place. For the tar paper, it comes with black construction paper, and I lightly misted a green spray paint over the black construction paper, and then cut it into strips and glued them on. The strips are each 1/4 of an inch wide, and then it's slightly overlapped. So start at the bottom and then just work your way up, slightly overlapping them. And again, all the little vents are provided in the kit. And again, if you want to watch the video on the HO scale version called Williams Propane, it may help you with this. I just wanted to go over these quick with you since there's not an instruction video for these. But it's a pretty simple build. Again, just take your time. Follow the instructions provided in the kit. With all of the detail parts provided, spray a gray primer on them and then paint them. It's going to make it a lot easier. The paint will stick to the primer better than the bare resin. And there's quite a bit of detail. I think I have a water tower over here. I think I have a couple. The ribbing and the handles on the trash can and the lids are very detailed. Let me just take the camera off and give you a closer look quick. So again, the 2 kits are available on my website, and the detail parts. You get a set of 4 of the trash can sets, and then 2 of the water tanks. Now keep in mind, if you are a Patreon member, you receive a discount on new kits, new products on my Patreon page. Patreon members receive a $9 discount on new product. I have 3 different tier levels. You can join for $1 a month, $5 a month, or $12 a month. Pretty good deal, especially if you're at $1 a month and you get $9 off. You're paying basically $1 for shipping on the kits. So, and Patreon members get to see pictures every day of what I'm working on. So I think it's a really good value to be a Patreon member. And I feel so connected to the members that are on there, and especially the ones that leave messages every day. They're like family to me. I just love hearing from everyone, and I actually get worried if I don't hear from someone for a little while. I wonder if they're sick or if everything's okay. So again, I just love hearing from everyone so much every day. It's great. I really thoroughly enjoy it. Hopefully that helps you if you buy these 2 kits and you're putting them together. And again, I will put the HO scale version instruction videos right here at the bottom of the screen. All right, well, until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.